For quite some time now, a lot of our customers have given us feedback about the challenges of installing a handbrake alarm into a modern vehicle, especially when those vehicles have an electric park brake. Because an electric park brake doesn't have a normal analog output to give the handbrake status as to whether it's engaged or not, it can be required to use a CAN-Bus module along with your traditional handbrake alarm. So what we've done is we've developed a brand new CAN-Bus Handbrake Alarm that connects to CAN-Bus and power and earth in the vehicle, and it reads all of the signals that you need to install a latching handbrake alarm. So let me show you some of its features, and then we'll show you how this system works. Okay, so this little module is a really powerful little CAN-Bus handbrake alarm. It is self-learning. So basically what that means is when you connect it to the vehicle and you hook up the CAN-Bus and power and earth, it's going to analyze the vehicle and program itself for that specific vehicle. Now it's only going to work on vehicles where we've created the program for it, but that's going to be most of the commercial vehicles available at the moment. And as new cars come up or new requirements come up, it's very easily updated via this USB-C port and a web browser. So this is never a dead product. It can always be updated, whether that's for improved functionality or increased vehicle compatibility. Now as we go around to the front, we've got 3 dip switches here. Now the first dip switch here, dip switch 1, is got the ability to set this to have a 5-second delay on the alarm. So currently now, dip switch 1 in the off position down is going to alert immediately when the handbrake is disengaged and the driver door is opened. These other 2 dip switches allow us to set different combinations for different doors in a vehicle. So for example, if this was being installed in a van and you wanted it to be alerted if the side door is left open when the park brake is disengaged, or the driver's door, well, that can be set by the various combinations of dip switches 2 and 3, and you can see those in the instruction manual. So I've plugged in our main power and CAN-Bus harness. For installation, it simply is as easy as connecting constant power and earth to the red and black wire. Should have a fuse on the power wire, rated to whatever usage you're going to have on the outputs, which we'll talk about a little bit later. We then have a little piezo speaker here, which is the Audible alert. It's not a loud alert because not every application needs something like 80 decibels, but we can still have the functionality to add that, and I'll talk you through that in a minute. But this will give an audible alert when the park brake is not engaged and the door is opened. So the next ones up are our yellow and blue wires. So these are the other 2 wires that you're going to connect to the vehicle, and that's your CAN high and CAN low wires. So all we're doing is connecting 4 wires to the vehicle, and this module is going to handle all of your handbrake alarm functionality. But in addition to that, we've built in some other cool features as well. Firstly, talking about the alert, this yellow-red wire is a 250 milliamp output, 12 volt, that you can use to power a buzzer or a light, or even to trigger a relay to activate the vehicle's horn to tell other people around the vehicle that the car hasn't got the park brake engaged. We also incorporated a 2 amp reverse output. So all these outputs are generated off CAN-Bus, but this can be used to power up a reverse buzzer or squawker, or to use any other functionality that needs a reverse trigger. We've also got a 2 amp accessory output on the pink wire, which can be used to power any other aftermarket accessories through a relay or whatever. And then we have our orange wire here, which is a 250 milliamp high beam output. So that can power a light bar through a relay or spotlights or whatever you like. So all of that is included as standard in this CAN-Bus handbrake alarm. Okay, so we've also added some additional functionality, which is really important when it comes to handbrake alarms, and they're in our little auxiliary connector here. The brown and green wires at the time of recording this video are not used at this point. However, the grey and purple can be used as negative triggers for additional alarms. So for example, you could connect up your door open switches of a canopy, or some sort of a storage or ladder lock or something like that. And it will work in conjunction with the park brake and the door to give you alerts if any of those things aren't locked or closed correctly. So we've got these two additional inputs. Some vehicles also don't have the park brake status on CAN when the ignition is turned off. So Isuzu D-Max as an example. So we would connect up the analog negative trigger from the manual park brake to this input instead of using a CAN-Bus signal. So that walks you through the features of this little device. It's a powerful little product that simplifies the installation. Now I'll show you exactly how it works in this Ford Ranger. Okay, so we've just hooked this up temporarily to give you a demonstration of how it works. So in the manual, you'll find the CAN high and CAN low locations for the vehicle that you're going to be installing in. Remember, there's no programming on the module. It's going to detect the vehicle, program itself, and it's just going to work. We've set our dip switches accordingly. So most of the time, the default for just driver door only and no delay on the output will be all of those 3 dip switches down. Now, just referring to our auxiliaries that we talked about earlier, if we're not using them for a canopy or in the particular vehicle, it's no requirement for the manual park brake input. We just need to put them to ground so that they're constantly closed. And then inside here, you can see a couple of LEDs. So you can see a blue LED and a red LED, and you can use them for diagnostics and testing if you were to come across a fault of some sort. So now what we'll do is we'll fire up the system and show you how this works. Okay, so we're in this Ranger. You can see electric park brake. We've got that off at the moment. Vehicle's in park. If I open the door, there's our alert. The only way that that alert goes away is by activating the park brake. Now that's what they call normally a latching handbrake alarm. And so this is compatible with most of the mining site specifications in terms of how the park brake has to be activated to disengage the alarm. Now, if I turn the park brake off again and turn the car off, open the door, same, the alarm will not go away until I activate the park brake. So it doesn't matter what ignition state, accessory, engine off, this alarm will work and make sure that you're getting the alerts at the exact right time and latch and only be disengaged by the park brake. And it's the same as if we have the dip switches set with other doors or using those auxiliaries. They're latching and the alarm will not be turned off until we activate the park brake and turn that on.